culmination of a several weeks long of working with students from Longmont High School in the Youth Development Program. It is sponsored by the E-Bell Club, and as always, we're very thankful for the E-Bell Club participation in this program. I asked the clerk to call the roll, and then the student clerk called the roll. But I would like to have you meet these members of the Student Food Council a little bit more up close and personal. Sometimes we have the council members tell you a little bit about the student, but because this is being taped for television, I think it's time for the students to showcase themselves. So I'm going to turn it over to the student mayor, and she will in turn tell us a little bit about herself, her ambitions, her activities, her honors, and then she'll call on the other members of the Student City Council to do likewise. So I'll turn this part of the meeting over now to Christine Heschler.
Good evening, my name is Christine Heschler. I'm 17 years old. I'm actively involved in forensics, which is competitive speech at Mirada High School. I'll be graduating in the top 20 of our class in June. I'm also our senior class vice president. In terms of the future, I'll be attending junior college in the fall, where I hope to get my AA in 2 years and then transfer to the school specializing either in English or broadcasting. Mayor Pro Tem Elena Brunetescu.
Hello, my name is Elena Brunetescu. I'm 18 years old, junior at Mirada High School. Currently, I'm president of C Club, secretary of CSF, and I'll be graduating top 20 in my class. In the future, I plan to attend either the University of California or University of San Diego, where I'll major in pre-med, and later on pursue a goal in medicine. I enjoy listening to alternative music, poetry, rummaging through thrift stores, and spending time with my friends. And now I'll introduce my mother, who's sitting in the front row.
I also forgot to introduce my parents. Councilwoman Melissa Nardini.
Hi, my name is Melissa Najee. I have been a resident of Long Run for over 18 years. I'm the youngest of a family of 6. Currently, I attend Long Run High School. There I am involved in a number of different activities. I currently hold positions of senior class president, girls league president, and I also am the activities editor of this year's yearbook. As some of you know, I also work at the nearby Albertson supermarket. My future plans are first attending a four-year university, either UCLA or UC San Diego. After I receive my undergraduate degree, I would like to attend law school back east, thus applying all this education to accomplish my long-term goal of becoming a judge. Now I would like to introduce my mom, Bella Najee, who's sitting in the second row.
Councilwoman Abigail Burnaby.
Hi, my name is Abigail Burnaby, and I'm currently 17 years old, and I'm making Longmont High School also. I am involved in numerous activities at Longmont High School, including associated student advisor and girls league vice president, and I plan to attend USC or UCI in next fall to major in pre-med and further my studies at UCSF or ULA next year.
Councilwoman Jennifer Utani.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Utani, and I'm 17 years old, and I'm a senior at Mirada High School. I'm also involved in forensics, as Tina mentioned, which is speech and debate, where we go to competitions throughout the state. And I'm also president of CSF and secretary of forensics. I've been involved in tennis, and I'm the girls' athletic representative to the associated student body of our school, and of course, using government. And this is going to be kind of long because half my family is here. I've got my dad Ray, my mom Marilyn, my sister Kim, my grandma and grandpa Utani.
We do have some guests here with us this evening. I'd like to introduce those that I've been able to find from the Norwalk Lamra School Board. Board Member Patricia Ruiz. Pat, thank you. There he is, okay. And Board Member Darrell Adams. Any other board members sneak in while I was... Okay. From Lamra High School, the principal, Howard Hobbs. Howard. The Youth and Government Coordinator, Steve Jones. Steve. And the Superintendent of the Norwalk Lamra Unified School District, Dr. Robert Aguilar. And a gentleman that needs a new watch from the Norwalk Lamra Board of Education, and a Lamra resident, Gabe Garcia. Also, it's my pleasure to introduce someone that will probably be involved in this youth and government program in a few years. That's the Associated Student Body President of Benton Middle School, Kashmir Chavez. Kashmir? And to make a brief announcement that has something to do with this youth and government is a gentleman that's been very kind and cooperative with the city of Mirada. He's a court commissioner down in court. He's running for judge. It's in our district. You can vote for him. Roy Paul. Commissioner Roy Paul.
Honorable Mayor and council members and guests, I have the opportunity to represent Downey Municipal Court tonight, and I also have the pleasure of providing a new opportunity to Student Government Day, and that is that we've developed a program where a student which has been chosen will be permitted to sit in Downey Municipal Court as a judge for a day. That particular individual will be sitting on the bench up on the dais with me in a judicial robe, the traditional black robe, and will be able to listen and hear and participate in all the court business, from trials, arraignments, every kind of hearing that we traditionally encompass throughout the day. And that particular individual that's been chosen is Melissa, who's here tonight. Melissa, congratulations, and having heard that you want to be a judge for a day, let's give her a hand. I guarantee you that at the end of the day, you will remember that experience for life and also be prepared for things to come in the future. Thank you.
Those of you that are standing in the back, there are some seats if you'd like to fill those in. At the back of the room is our Sergeant of Arms, Deputy Chacho, and next to Deputy Chacho is a container that has some copies of this evening's agenda. There are, I believe there are some left. If you'd like to pick one up so you can follow along with the meeting, please feel free to do so. This Youth and Government meeting, as I said, is the culmination of many weeks where these people from the high school have been working on some projects to present to the City Council. So I'm going to now turn over the next item on our agenda, which is appearances, presentations, and proclamations. And we have 5 of those to make. And I'm going to turn that part of the meeting over to our Mayor Hedges.
Thank you very much. At various times throughout the year, the City Council recognizes individuals, groups, or organizations for their many contributions to the community by special presentations or proclamations of upcoming events. We have 5 of those tonight. I will be presenting the first. Councilmember Jennifer Utani will be presenting the second. Councilmember Nadine will be presenting the third. Councilmember Abigail Burnaby will be presenting the fourth, and Mayor Pro Tem Chesky will be responsible for the fifth. The first one on our agenda tonight is that Mirada Little League Junior All-Star Team presentation. The 1993 Mirada Little League Junior All-Star Team competed in the 1993 Western USA Regional Championship Tournament held in Grand Junction, Colorado. This is the last tournament before playing the World Series for this division. The 1993 Junior All-Star team consisted of 14 boys, all 13 years old. They were selected by all the players and coaches in the junior division to represent La Mirada Little League. They began playing the District 29 tournament, which consisted of 20 teams from leagues in the surrounding community. The tournament was held in Buena Park, and La Mirada won 5 straight games. The next step was the section tournament held in Huntington Beach. Again, La Mirada swept the tournament by winning 4 straight games from teams representing leagues in Orange and Los Angeles counties. The next tournament was the Division Championships, which was held in Pasadena's Jackie Robinson Stadium. The best teams in Southern California assembled to see who would advance to the Western USA Regional Tournament. Again, La Mirada proved to be the best team. On to Colorado and the Western USA Region Tournament, where they won 1 of 3 games. La Mirada Little League Junior All-Stars won 14 games and lost only 2 in becoming the Western USA Region Tournament runner-up. Quite an accomplishment. The city of La Mirada is pleased and proud to recognize these fine young men that brought positive recognition to our community. They played as a team and should be commended for their determination, enthusiasm, sportsmanship, and ability in representing their families, the league, and the city of La Mirada. And could I have the manager, Jim Brooks, join me now, please, at the podium? Jim Brooks? Kim Brooks, I'm sorry, I got the name wrong. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'd very much like to thank the city for honoring this team. I think it's very special when a city takes time to honor the good things that are done in the community, and this is one outstanding bunch of young men that did a job under a pressure situation and represented the city not only on the baseball field but off the field when we traveled all over Southern California and back to Colorado. And I think it's very important that you folks have focused on something done well in the community by young people that have done a job well done, and we hear so much of the bad going on with our youth. These young men have done a job and done it well, and have done something no other La Mirada Little League team has done in the history of La Mirada Little League, and I want to thank you very much because I think it's very, very important that this is done. Thank you. We would like to present the city with this trophy, which states that we were Southern California champions, and what we have accomplished, the names of the team, and an appreciation for what the city has done for us. Thank you very much. Danny Armstrong. Jack Brooks. Garrett. Good job, Jack. Garrett Connor. Steve Dorneman. Mike Guzman. Robert Herndon. Billy Hogan. Eric Kakamoto. Marcos Munoz. Marcus has a baseball game tonight. Jake Snowden, who's on the same team. Kurt Reese. Kurt Reese has moved to Idaho. Ricky Rivera. Okay. Eric Saul. Jimmy Zern. My coaches, Tom Zern. Pete Dane. And Jack Robertson, who is a fireman for the matter of fact, he's working right next door here tonight. And I'd like to thank, we had to raise $5,000 in about 2 weeks to get all these kids back to Colorado. And our president of the La Mirada Little League, Dwight Awesome, without him, we would have not been able to accomplish this. Dwight, I want to thank you very much for everything you did. Guys, they want to take a picture of you. They got a non-breakable camera, so come on. Yes, up. Short ones in front, tall ones in back. We've done this drill before, guys. Top step. He wants the top step. There we go. Yeah, no, I mean, you're in back. Pete, get in.
Okay, one more up on the top step. You guys are going to face me this question. Okay, here we go. You right here, Neil?
Sure. Small guy. Little guy. Small in the front.
Second item is National Community Development Week. Councilmember Jennifer Utani.
Whereas the Community Development Block Grant Program, which is marking the 20th anniversary of its enactment in 1974, recognizes that the welfare of our nation depends upon maintaining viable urban communities. And whereas this program gives local government flexibility to target resources through locally designed programs to help eliminate urban blight and improve the living environment of low and moderate income residents. And whereas 1994 marks the City of La Mirada's 20th year of participation in the Community Development Block Grant Program through programs such as housing administration, facility handicap accessibility, public works projects, and the city's long-standing popular home improvement assistance program. And whereas since 1974, the City of La Mirada has committed over $5 million CDBG funds to enhance and preserve the aesthetic and livability of the community. And now, therefore, we, the youth in government, City Council do hereby proclaim March 28th through April 8th, 1994 as National Community Development Week in the City of La Mirada and urge continued support for the Community Development Block Grant Program. Here to accept this proclamation is Linda LaQuire, Administrative Assistant to Congressman Ed Roy.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here this evening, accepting this on behalf of Congressman Royce. He would like to have been here personally, but he is in Washington, D.C. He wants me to once again commend the La Mirada City Council and the city staff for the manner in which they use the federal CDBG funds. The housing projects and the public works projects really all enhance the city of La Mirada, and you serve as a role model for the state of California. You really are to be congratulated, and he wishes you continued success and thanks you for the proclamation.
Item number 3 is National Library Week. Councilmember Melissa Nadine.
Whereas National Library Week is being celebrated throughout the nation by the public and the library in library procession from April 17th through April 23rd, 1994. And whereas the public library continues to be an integral part of the national way of life in helping our citizens achieve their dreams of a better life and a better world by providing valuable resources and knowledge. And whereas librarians promote a love of reading through cities such as preschool, story hours, storytelling contests, summer reading programs, and adult literacy programs. Now, therefore, I, Melissa Nadine, council member of the Youth and Government, do hereby proclaim April 17th through 23rd, 1994, the National Library Week, and urge the citizens of La Mirada to participate in library activities and make use of all library services during National Library Week and every week throughout this year. Here to accept this proclamation is Virginia Hodgson, who serves as the Community Library Manager.
Thank you very much for this proclamation. We really appreciate your continued support of the library. Last year, La Mirada Library served over 24,000 registered borrowers in our city. 22% of those are children. And we had 215,000 people walk through our front gate. We have a collection of over 55,000 books and another 40,000 AV materials, pamphlets, and other ephemerals. And we employ 20 workers, most of whom are La Mirada residents. Unfortunately, LA County cutbacks have hurt our library as other county libraries. We have a hiring freeze, and we have been able to replace the 3 workers that we've lost during the last 3 years. And last August, our service hours were reduced down to 21 hours a week with only 3 days open, which was quite a reduction from 6 days a week with 58 service hours. And unfortunately now we have long lines and busy telephones when our patrons want to reach us. This year we were fortunate to get a small amount of money from the county for library materials. We don't expect any next year, so we're going to be very dependent on the donations we receive. And our wonderful friends of the library group that have been very active in fundraising. They bought us a lot of books and magazine subscriptions this year, and they're gearing up for next year with a book sale on May 21st that will be held at the library. And I don't know if he's here tonight, but I'd like to say a word of thanks to our Regional Library Council person, Jack Schmidt, who's been very active in helping us over the years. Thank you.
Item number 4 is Earthquake Preparedness Month. Councilmember
It's my pleasure to be here this evening to accept this proclamation on behalf of the state of California and the Area E Disaster Board. And again, from the last several years, I just want to say it's a pleasure for me to be a resident of La Mirada. You're doing great things here, and just keep up the good work. And I know the citizens and the businesses are very fortunate to have the city council and the staff leadership that you have in this fine city. So thank you very much.
Item number 5 is recognition of Deputy Guy Hiles. Mayor Pro Tem Alina Bridges Sessions.
Deputy Guy Hiles has joined the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department in 1978 and has worked a variety of assignments, including the county jail, Carson Station, and El Lennox Station. And in 1989, he was assigned to Norwalk Regional Station and has served in La Mirada since 1992. Deputy Hiles has had numerous arrests here in La Mirada, and his investigations unique and insight enhance the efforts of La Mirada team. During his tenure, he has consistently provided dedicated service to the community. One extra bonus is the 1991 National Police Rodeo Association Champion Bull Rider. Deputy Hiles donated all of the winnings to charities for handicapped children. For his service and for his dedication, we'd like to commemorate him tonight. Speaking at the podium.
City council members, I really appreciate this plaque. It means a lot to me. I have been a deputy sheriff for 15 years. I've worked for several incorporated cities throughout the county of Los Angeles. During that time, I have never had a better working environment than I have here with the city of La Mirada. And I think you should be congratulated on the law enforcement group that you've developed throughout the time. And again, thank you very much.
That concludes our presentations and proclamations. We're going to move now into the youth and government portion of the meeting. These students have been working for several weeks on some projects that they invite to present, not only to the council, but to the student council, and it'll be interesting to see how the student council will vote. So I'll turn this portion of the meeting over to Mayor Hedges.
I'd like to point out that these 13 staff members have been working diligently for the past 5 months. Whereas our job is really just starting tonight, their job has already pretty much finished. By this point, they have investigated the presentations that they're going to provide for us tonight, and I'm sure that they will make us all proud. Having said that, we'd like to turn to the first item of business, pedestrian access through zone common area. Ms. Mayor, the first item on the agenda, please.
The first item on the agenda this evening is the pedestrian access to zone common area. Presenting tonight will be Sheila Lee, Emmy Aliagi, and myself, Liz Ness.
Many Hillsborough students attending Benton Middle School and La Mirada High School are experiencing an inconvenience walking or riding their bikes to school. They are having to travel down Hillsborough Avenue to Alicante, then up Santa Gertrudis in order to get to school. We believe that we have found a way to resolve this problem. There is a zone common area located on San Miguel Avenue in Hillsborough that connects to Newcomb Avenue in the Green Hills area. Presently, the area is closed with gates on each end that are locked. This area is designed to be as an emergency access for the residents. We have provided photos of this area for the council members.
On the overhead, we have indicated the red in the alternate route the students will be able to travel, which is about 1/4 or 1/3 of the current distance. In regards to opening the gate, we interviewed the Benton students who ride the bus to school. About 40 students ride the bus, and of those students, 20 of them stated that they have walked to or from school this year. 33 of the students said that they would definitely use the walkway sometime or another if it were to be opened, and would consider walking to or from school more since the bus is always overcrowded.
We have proposed two options for the Hillsborough Homeowners Association to consider. The first proposal is to install gates that requires either a key, an electronic card, or a timed access lock. This will allow only the students from the Hillsborough area to pass through the gates. The disadvantages for this proposal are the cost of installing the locks, making and distribution of keys, and maintenance. This proposal is favorable because it would limit the passage to students only and eliminate the fear of a possible increase in crime. With this control, local residents wouldn't have to worry about the increase of pedestrians on their streets.
Another proposal is that the Homeowners Association be asked to keep the gates open at all times during the school year. This is obviously the most convenient and easiest of the two options. However, the disadvantage of opening the gates 24 hours a day is that anyone would have access to the gates at all times. Although it is impossible to know for sure, residents both in the Hillsborough and Green Hills area would be concerned about a possible increase in crime. With this proposal, however, a financial factor would not be imposed on anyone. Since we cannot determine the outcome of this action, we propose that the Homeowners Association open the gates on a trial basis. This would put them in a position to close the gates if a problem were to arise. Another important factor is the safety of the children when walking or riding their bikes to and from school. If the gate were open to them, students would be taking much safer routes to school since they would not have to travel on busy streets. Instead, they would be walking or riding their bikes to residential areas. It is recommended that the City Council consider contacting the Homeowners Association in regards to opening this access. Are there any questions?
Councilmember Yukon. I have a question. Should something occur when you're walking, the student is walking through this area, who would be liable for this?
Since the area is private property, it is owned by the Hillsborough Homeowners Association, and they are insured on that property.
So the homeowners then would be in fact responsible for that?
They would be liable.
Okay. I also have a question. With that in mind, what would be the feasibility actually of the homeowners association opening the gate for the students? Have to contact them at all to find out their feelings on the matter? We spoke to some residents, but we haven't actually talked to the board of the homeowners association. And what happened is the gate is already there; it's just locked. And so the residents around the gate would rather have it open because there are already students there that use the access by throwing their bikes over and climbing over. And so they would rather much have it open, or that's what the next door neighbor said.
Today I spoke to the woman who lives on the right-hand side of the gate, and she said she complained about the noise and the racket that the kids make jumping the fence, and while I was there were kids jumping the fence. She said that she would rather have it open, and she also mentioned that the paint chipping off is indicated on the pictures. She said that's due to the skateboards coming over the sides and the bicycles and their feet when they jump over the wall. So she said she'd much rather have them open than have them hop a closed gate.
Are there any other questions?
I'd like to ask, since if the gates are open, are there going to be being used for the buses afterwards? Maybe students would use the route, or running of the buses would be transferred, maybe to another location?
Not necessarily, because not all students are going to want to walk. I mean, the buses will still be provided by the school. It's just that there are students that want to walk because of the overcrowding, and this would offer options to the students. But our question usually used for students who actually live too far from the school site to be considered to walk safely. Is there a possibility that this would alleviate that problem, perhaps, for the buses?
Well, there's also students that use the same bus for the landmark students. The bus is also for the landmark students and for other students that live close to the Hillsborough.
Are there any other questions? I do have one more question. Why is the gate not open now?
Yeah. Okay, well, it was designed as an emergency access, and so they have it locked for, and they only open it if, like, they need it for a fire escape or...
It's an evacuation.
Yeah.
Are there any more questions? Councilmember Buchanan.
If they did open the gate, would you need some sort of special security to be going there if something happens, or would you just do it to
There would not be any security if the gates were opened, but that's why the biggest fear is the crime that could occur in the area. Plus, the residents are fearful of not just the students using it, but anybody going through, because it is a wide area. That is why we propose that they open on a trial basis, so they would have the power to close the gates should anything occur, but there would not be any security.
Are there any more questions? Councilmember Buchanan.
what do you think would be a sufficient time to open these gates to figure out whether or not they're offensive?
We talked about a 6-month trial basis, or maybe like the first semester, since it's based on the students, the school system.
Since this school year is almost over, in 3 months it'll be over, we propose that maybe for September, they open it
Semester next year.
for the first semester.
Are there any more questions? Okay, thank you for the meeting. Is there any discussion on this matter? One main point that I'd like to bring to light is the idea of trial basis. If the homeowners association is going to be liable for any problems that may occur, then one main problem that ultimately is dealing with the fact that if something happens while on trial basis, then the homeowners association is also liable, regardless of whether or not happened. They were trying to see if something would go wrong. Basically, it's already happened. You have to deal with that problem. Anyone else have a comment?
I have a comment. If they're liable for it, while it's running the fence, so it'd be just too dangerous. So maybe opening the fence and they won't get so much chances to run the bikes over and opening the fence and stuff, just eliminating the students are going to do it anyway.
However, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Mayor, is the homeowners association still liable if the gate is in fact closed and students are trespassing when they jump the fence? Is the homeowners association also liable for any injuries that might occur in that fashion?
As long as you're still up,
Yes,
I believe they're just private property.
and they are liable if they jump a locked fence, locked gate.
I'm not sure, but I would assume they are.
And they are. Okay, is there any other discussion on the matter? No discussion. Okay, do I have a motion?
I move that the Newton Government Council recommends the City Council consider this pedestrian access to the downtown area.
Do I hear a second? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Buchanan? Burnaby? Nagin? Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Brendan Chester? Aye. Mayor Kessler?
Nay.
Motion carries.
Moving on to the second item of business. Ms. City Manager.
The second item on the agenda this evening is funding for Longmont Regional Park. Presenting will be Art Savini, Christian Marquis, and Melissa Avalar.
As we all know, La Mirada Park has been an important facility in developing not only the La Mirada community, but the communities around La Mirada. And we all know how important this is for our community because other people also use the La Mirada Regional Park. But recently, the Los Angeles County, who owns the La Mirada Regional Park, has threatened to close down the park due to lack of funding. So in future years, what we propose are 2 ways in which La Mirada would fund the park should La Mirada acquire the park from the county.
One of the ways in which La Mirada could, the way in which La Mirada is going to fund the park depends on the way the park is going to be obtained. And this is, the first way is if La Mirada County, Los Angeles County is going to give the park free of charge to La Mirada City. In this case, La Mirada would always, the only problem they would face would be the funding of the park. It is estimated that Los Angeles County spends around $400,000 for the maintenance of the park, and therefore La Mirada will have to raise only $400,000 to maintain the park. The park is approximately 90 acres in size. If you were to sell 15 acres of the park at the rate of $10 per square foot, it would generate approximately $6.5 million. We propose that the city invests this money in a stable investment at an approximate rate of 7% interest. This would bring a revenue of $457,000 in interest, which would be more than enough to provide for the maintenance of the park per year, provided that the city council never touches the capital.
Our second option is that we feel that obtaining the park at no cost is highly improbable. In the event that the county offers to sell the park to the city, we have devised a way to pay for the cost of buying and maintaining the park. The park is approximately 90 acres of zoned open space. After some research, we suggest that the city buy the land for $3 to $4 per square foot. If the city were to buy the land for $3.50 per square foot, the total cost of buying the park would be $13.7 million. The city would have to finance this cost. We suggest that the city finance this through the county. If the city finances this cost over a period of 50 years at a maximum interest rate of 5%, the cost per year for paying for buying the park would be $750,000. In order to pay for this, we suggest that the city sell 30 acres of the park for housing development instead of 15. By selling 30 acres at $10 per square foot, it would generate a revenue of $13 million. We suggest that we place this money in a stable investment at an estimated average interest rate of 7% annually. The interest, at this interest rate, this would generate a revenue of $915,000 per year. This would be more than enough to pay for the cost of buying the park. There would also be $160,000 left to help pay for the maintenance of the park. The park would then be approximately 60 acres in size. Because of this, the cost for maintaining it would be less. However, if the cost for the maintenance does exceed $160,000, the balance would have to be paid for by the city. Dipping into the city's budget is something that La Mirada would have to consider if the city is willing to buy the park.
It is a recommendation that the City Council consider investigating the plans to fund La Mirada Regional Park in response to the county's threat to close or possibly sell the park in the near future. We are now open for questions.
Are there any questions? What are the main benefits of us using the park as opposed to using it with the county?
Well, one of the benefits that we would have of taking over the park would be that it would be more community-oriented. As it is right now, the county owns the park. And because the county owns the park, other communities take part in our regional park. I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong, but if the city were to take control of the park, it would become more community-oriented toward the city alone.
Are there any other questions? Councilman Burnham.
Who would purchase the land if you would cost?
A private development contractor would purchase the land probably for a housing building.
Have you found out if anybody would
We haven't looked exactly. This is like an hypothetical problem in case La Mirada gets the park. But I'm sure there are contractors out there that are willing to buy land and build housing. Especially La Mirada is a good area, and people would attract contractors.
Do you think that the county would sell the city the park for $34 per square foot?
The reason we say $3 to $4 is because recently the county has sold some property to the owners of the cemetery for $4 per square foot.
Are there any other questions?
Do we have the staffing to be able to carry the park, or do you need, as we said, the funding for the park, we need to hire more staff to maintain the park?
I don't think it would be necessary to hire more staff to maintain the park. Would just be another part from the budget the city will have to take in consideration each year to provide for the maintenance of the park.
Are there any other questions?
You stated that a housing development would buy land. Where exactly would they put the new housing?
Well, we propose 2 areas. In case that the first part, when we get a park for free, which is probably unlikely, we propose developing the 15 acres between McNally Drive and close to the Park Road, which was 15 acres. In case that we have to develop 30 acres, we propose of developing the approximately 20 acres in this area, and then 10 acres in this area between Stern Avenue, Alicante Drive, and Adelphi.
Are there any other questions? Councilmember Fine.
Going back to the very basic what do you think are the probabilities that the county would actually carry through on this threat to close the park?
Well, we all know that the economic stability of the county right now is very shaky, and they've threatened to close down the park for a number of months, even years, and this probability is very high that within the next 10 to 20 years that they will in fact sell the park. And so what we're right now want to do is investigate plans that if the county should ever put the park up for sale, that the city would have first bids to buy it, so that it would stay within the community and it would stay within the people of La Mirada.
I have a couple of questions. First of all, was the county consulted about the likelihood of this threat being carried out anytime soon?
This was just an assumption that was made on our part because the threat has been there for a long time, and so this is a threat of long standing that within the next 10 to 20 years we found it very probable that this will actually happen. But as for the county actually being contacted, no, because it was just assumed that they would be threatened, that they would threat the same thing anyways.
Okay, another question. If this were to become a reality, to whom would the county be most likely to sell the property first? Would it not be the city?
Yes, because the county owns the park and the city is a government agency, the city has first priority to federal property.
Okay, and third question. This has to do with selling a portion of the park. What would be the city's reaction, that is, the resident is discovering that the city would by any means be attempting to, in fact, sell and build houses on a part of its recreational area?
Well, La Mirada City Park is actually a county park. If it were to be a city park, it would have to be a smaller size. So by cutting down in the side of the park, it would make it a city park. And the development of the house will not affect the recreation area that the park provides today.
Okay, so what would it be affected then?
It would be affecting the areas that don't include the tennis courts and don't include the baseball courts, don't include the baseball fields, because we realized when we were going over to this proposal that those were two of the major things that we have to look at here, that things that should be kept in the community within La Mirada. So the parts that we want to basically sell off are the parts that aren't being used by the community, such as the tennis courts or the baseball fields. Those are the #1 priority, and those are the ones that we plan to keep. The property that will be sold is the property by the lakeside or the property down by Foster Road.
So looking at lawn, basically, grass?
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Councilmember Thomas.
Just a point of clarification. The recommendation that we investigate this further, so are you saying that there could be other possibilities in addition to this?
There are possibly other possibilities, but we narrowed it down to these two because we feel that these are the most probable and these are the most workable of the plans that we came up with, and we came up with some pretty wild ideas. But what we wanted to establish is that this is a possible situation that could come up within the next few years, and we want our thoughts to be taken seriously because we took a lot of consideration into this. But yes, there are other plans possible out there, and there are other ways that this could be worked out. But we feel that these are the two most probable and most important ones that should be looked at.
Are there any other questions? Councilmember Rodriguez.
Why doesn't the county try to sell the 15 acres to someone else? And what use is intended for these 15 acres?
As we said, the 15 acres would be intended for housing development. As we stated earlier, the county would have to come to the city first, and because the city would have first priority. They are able to go to a developer and try to sell it to them, but the developer would have to come to the city and ask the city's permission if they can develop houses, because it is zoned open space.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Okay, as stated by Councilmember Lusso, they've already looked into selling the park to the city, but we can't afford it. So, why are you bringing this up again?
Well, since the Orange County is also, Los Angeles County is pressured with the expense of the park, and therefore, if they don't want to sell the park or the price that we can afford, then they will have to keep them open. If they try to close it, then we can, I'll probably take them to court because it would bring crime by closing the park and carry out expansion. So therefore, if they don't want to sell the price, if they want to sell the park, they would have to sell at a low price, which would be affordable for the city.
Are there any more questions? Mayor Pro Tem.
What I'd like to ask you is that in your investigation, have you discovered any laws prohibiting the county of selling the park to developers before selling it to the city, or while selling the park? Are there any laws against that, because it is recreational?
Well, as we said, the city does have first priority, and that is one of the criteria. They must come to the city first before they can go to the housing developer.
You know, if the city can come up with a design, if they are first priority, they will return to housing and no longer for that.
The county can sell to a developer, but the park is zoned open space, so the developer would have to come to the city to ask us permission if they can develop housing. Our main intent for our proposal is to say that we would like to keep a park for the city and the citizens of La Mirada. The county did threaten to close it, and we are just proposing ways to keep it open.
Are there any more questions? Thank you for being seated. Is there any discussion on this matter? Allow me to start interjecting by saying, I agree that there is a problem with the park, and that there may eventually become a problem with funding. However, I would further contend that we should probably not so much per se worry about that when the time comes, but I would argue that perhaps this method of funding is not the most logical. Certainly, the first idea is not likely because the park probably will not be given to us. And the second, I think the idea of selling any part of the park for housing is absolutely preposterous. The park is something there for recreational activities. And I would simply propose that we investigate other methods of planning the funding should this occur in the next 20 years as staff suggested. Is there any further discussion? Councilmember Utano.
They said that they recommend that they investigate these plans.
I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're referring to these two options that you presented?
Right.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Do I have a motion?
I move that the Houston Government Council recommend that the City Council consider funding for La Mirada Regional Park.
Do I hear a second?
I second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Utah.
Nay.
Burnaby. Nadine.
Aye. Mayor Pro Tem Brenda Chester? Mayor Christine Chester?
Nay. Moving on to the third item of business.
The third item on tonight's agenda is the Mirada Library. Presenting will be Assistant City Manager Anna Golden.
To help me with our proposal presentation about the La Mirada Library will be Elizabeth Orr, Heidi Kim and Amy Francis, Pramod Patel, Robert Yang, and Becky Stengel. As students, we find that the library is one of our greatest necessities. The La Mirada Library is one branch of the Los Angeles library system and has been greatly affected by state budget cuts. The library...
Councilmember Jennifer Utani. Councilmember Abigail Burnaby. Councilmember Melissa Nadine. I don't know what happened to her. City Manager Marie Bonnet. Assistant City Manager Anna Goulden. City Clerk Sheila Lee. Finance Director Ciprian Marquish. Community Resources Director Elizabeth Orr. Economic Development Director Arik Mabini. Community Services Director Becky Stengel. Theater Director Melissa Avalar. Environmental Services Director Pramod Patel. The Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Emi Awegi. Assistant Fire Chief was Robert Yang. The Library Manager was Heidi Kim. The Sheriff Captain was Amy Francis. And I would also, at this time, like to ask Steve Jones if he would please come forward and accept a certificate of appreciation from Mayor Wayne Rue for his work in coordinating the Youth in Government program from La Mirada High School.
And these are your representatives for the Youth in Government 1993-94.
Anybody else that might like to come out to the front?
Okay, on two, smile. 1, 2. One more.
What's your third name, please?
1, 2. Thank you very much. Thank you all.